Hey everyone, it's Kim and welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. It's the month of December. I know everyone on BookTube's talking about their best of wrap-ups and where we're going in the future and what are our big plans for 2021. I wanted to come in and tell you guys about a new vlog series, or at least reading challenge I've set for myself. I find that I don't do a lot of vlogging, so I'm not sure if you guys want this in a vlog format, but I do have a new reading challenge for myself. If you're new to my channel, I am all about food writing, specifically things like culinary history, food memoirs, culinary history, and different food trends and fighting food scarcity. So one of the biggest and most prestigious places I go to check on for new releases or best-in-class books to read to add to my never-ending TBR would be the James Beard Foundation. So the James Beard Foundation, if you don't know, is in honor of the late James Beard, who was one of the culinary forefathers of American cuisine and just bring America to a level where we were respected, a la, France has a reputation for its food. So James Beard was one of those founding fathers. Every year, minus the last 2 years of the pandemic, the James Beard Award Foundation has picked numerous awards. And within media awards, there are short stories, news articles, but all different cookbooks. There is also a section for food writing. This is super exciting. I have read some of the more recent books in the last 3 or 4 years. Now, in 2021, there was no James Beard Awards ceremony. James Beard as an organization is going through a revamped program, I think, to really push diversity, whether that's ethnic diversity, women in the kitchen. It was well needed. I'd say that the James Beard Foundation was starting to get this white man reputation, very similar to how the Grammys and the Academy Awards membership or members of the program was very skewed white and male. So I'm very excited to see what 2022 is going to bring. I actually am a member of the James Beard Foundation, not an important person. I'd say probably like the lowest tier that I can afford, but I know that my dollars are going to go towards culinary programs to help underserved communities, but I digress. The James Beard Awards have been around since 1991, I believe. So there's about 30 years. 90s to 2000s, 2000s to 2010s, 2010s to 2020s. 30 plus years of food writing books that I can get my hands on. So this challenge for myself is 1 book a month to read every James Beard Award-winning food writing book. Now, there are some books on the list that I have already read, and I will let you know what that book is when we come to it. But for right now, I want to start 2022 with the oldest books in the bunch, the 1990s winners. Now, I had to get all of these books used and secondhand. Many of them are out of print at this point. So part of me feels like I'm dipping back a little bit into history, which is really exciting. Now, when I review these books, I'll keep in mind things like, has this aged well? A lot has changed in the past 30 years, especially in terms of representation. But I am really, really excited to get started. All of the books finally came in. The last batch just came in today. So I'm going to tell you the books I'm going to be reading, or at least reading in the next year. I don't know the exact order. If you guys think I should go in year order, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick one and go for it. I will put the year that the book won underneath the book because I didn't write them down ahead of time, which, whoops, bad planning, but that's okay. The only book of the 1990s that I already read was Cod by Mark Kurlansky. I love Mark Kurlansky's books. I have read them many times, so I am not really in the mood to reread. And I also read Cod, I believe, this year, 2021, so at the beginning of the year. But if I need to, I could reread. So let's go ahead and let me show you the books that I did get. First off, Treasures of the Italian Table, Italy's Celebrated Foods and the Artisans Who Made Them by Burton Anderson. So this is super tiny. I got it, apparently at one point it was at Goodwill for $1. It is definitely a loved book. It's got some stains in it. This was published in copyright 1994. So this was either the 1994, obviously I'll put the year down here, but it's nice. It's been loved. I have no other words, but I am super excited to read. I'm going to say super excited for every book. Next up, Peppers by Amal Naj. The story of hot pursuits. let's see, when did this come out? Ooh, if you look in the inside cover, there's actually some sketches of different peppers, which is pretty nice. I actually have quite a few books on peppers and spices, so, oh wow, they even embossed, I don't know if it's going to come up on camera, but do you see how they embossed a couple little peppers? It's pretty cool. Let's see. You know a book is also old when the pages have started to actually like turn yellow and they're woven together in buckets or groupings. I remember from like one bookbinding class how to put books together. I got to do that in high school, which was pretty exciting. This is from, wow, do you not even have you have to have a copyright page. Isn't that like the law? Maybe it doesn't. 1992. Next up, Epicurean Delight, The Life and Times of James Beard by Evan Jones. So actually, I should mention that I have another biography about James Beard called The Man Who Ate Everything. So I really should probably read one or two books about James Beard and report back to you. Pardon me if you hear rumbling. It is cat playtime apparently behind me. This is from 1990. Epicurean Delight, The Life and Times of James Beard. If you are a fan of James Beard, and who isn't, you will never find a finer portrait of the gentleman than in Evan Jones's remarkable book, Epicurean Delight. It is remarkable in giving a wholly accurate appraisal of Jim's adoration of life and the good things of the table. Olive, this book is for you. It's Olives, The Life and Lore of the Noble Fruit by Mort Rosenblum. Writing from first-hand experience as an olive grower and eater, Mort Rosenblum brings poetry, history, humor, and passion to the noble olive. Beautifully researched, the prose evokes the richness and pervasiveness of this delicious fruit, and the illustrations and recipes conjure up great pleasure and memorable taste. Dan, my husband, hates olives, like loathes them, thinks they're awful, which kind of makes me sad because I love olives. So I'm very, very excited to read this one. I'm going to guess 96. Let's see. 1996. I was right. Okay. Next up, Becoming a Chef with Recipes and Reflections from America's Leading Chefs by Andrew Dorenberg and Karen Page. So this looks like a lot of this is recipes. This actually reads like a culinary textbook. So this might be a vlog where I thumb through this one and read another book as well. It says it's one of the best books ever written about the back of house side of a restaurant business, entertaining and delighting, illuminating. This came out in 2003, which I think really this is a revised edition. So the original one came out in the 90s. I have a feeling this is the kind of book that gets updated every year. There's different conversations in here about the Culinary Institute of America, so I'm guessing that this is one of their foundational textbooks. Which is fine, we all gotta start somewhere. Next up, Man-Eating, The Art and Science of Eating Insects. The book, Man-Eating Bugs, The Art and Science of Eating Insects by Peter Menzel and Faith D'Aluso. Interesting. So there's just a lot of pictures in here. I mean, maybe I'll read this with that other book as well. So it's not going to be a lot of heavy reading, but I wonder if I should come up with a criteria on like why I think this book won, and also see if I can find any news articles about it when the book first came out. Because I think it's interesting, like, what food writing means now versus what it might have meant 30 years ago. Because I think now, even personally, when I think of food writing, I think of culinary history and a lot of memoir. So I'm wondering, like, these might have been the first books of their kind when they came out. I mean, how many of us actually read books about insects? Now, to be fair, I did get a book from Recton Press about edible insects for the Edible History series. So, that's a very different approach than what that book looks like. Okay, 2 left. Home on the Range, A Culinary History of the American West by Kathy Luchetti, co-author of Women of the West. So again, another kind of big, floppier book. This was a strange Christmas Eve indeed. So different from any I have ever known before. Here we are, Wilhelm and I, separated for the first time from relatives and friends in a little log cabin far inland in America. For supper, we have spare ribs and coffee. And as we sit here now, we get a little light from the lead dish in which there is a tallow scraps and a little rag for a wick. Ooh, lead. Lots of pictures in this as well, with recipes. So who knows, there might be a weekend where I'm going to bang out all of these kind of floppier, picturesque books. Do you call them picture books, even though they're history-ish books? I don't really know. So now I have 3 books that I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do a vlog or a reading weekend to get through all 3 of them. And let me know what you think about those. And then the final book, Friends and Food, Recipes and Memories from Simca's Cuisine by Simone Simca Beck with Suzanne Patterson, introduction by Julia Child. So Simca helped Julia write Mastering the Art of French Cooking. So they have a very friendly relationship. Simone Beck is one of the most indisputable grand dames of the cooking world, and mentor and friend to a generation of cooks and food writers on 2 continents. Now at last she shares with a wider audience the essence of her life and cuisine in an irresistible feast of reminiscence and recipes that is as beautiful to look at as it is delicious to read. As readers of her phenomenally successful Mastering the Art of French Cooking and her 2 other books, Simca's Cuisine and More Recipes from Simca's Cuisine, well know, her cooking builds on the classic French foundation and surprising and highly original variations. Piquant spices, unconventional ingredients, and a practical insistence on achievability are her hallmarks. So if I remember correctly, after Mastering the Art of French Cuisine, Simca and Julia Child don't write future books together. There was some kind of differences in approaching how they wanted to target the American audience. I think Julia Child wanted to be more friendly to the American housewife who wanted to learn to cook, and Simca was very based in tradition, very, very dedicated to the French tradition. But I'll have to double check all that, and I will make sure that when I read that book to give a little bit more context around Julia Child, Simca, and their relationship, which also reminds me of that book I read earlier this year, The Fifth Muse, about the editor who found Julia Child's book and helped publish it. Which maybe also, if I remember correctly, Simca had a little bit more issue with the fact that, that Julia Child ended up really being the spokeswoman for French cuisine in America, and Simca was not part of that. Julia Child's a household name. I don't know how many people actually remember Simca. So this is my new reading challenge for 2022, reading James Beard Award-winning food writing books from the 1990s. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think I should do reading vlogs, or do you just want straight book reviews for these? Do you want to buddy read any of them? I can't. I feel like people might buddy read the Pepper book with me. I don't know how you're even gonna want to buddy read some of these picture books, but I am excited for the challenge. I'm excited to delve back into food history, food writing from a historical perspective. I can't wait to look back and see what these books were like. And I hope you come along with me on this journey. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited. Do any of these books stand out? Do any of them feel not like food? What does food writing mean to you versus what I just walked through in these books? Some of these books don't feel like food writing books to me, but like I said earlier in this video, a lot has changed in 30 years, and maybe the reputation of food writing has changed as well. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and make sure to follow me on Instagram to see all my latest updates about the Read It and Eat subscription box. I hope you're well, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.